Hey, what's up? I guess we're live.
What?
Welcome to the Sneak Peek podcast. As always, we're coming here live Sunday. We're called Real Talk. I'm your host and MC, Ethan Berman. I'm joined by
Blake Boserman
And Parker Lehman.
It's been a week, guys. I think everyone's feeling it. Definitely in terms of like I always feel like tough weeks luckily coincide with like slow news weeks, you know. So I never feel like I'm missing out on stuff. But there's definitely some stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
So we'll have some interesting topics to cover. Let's start off as we always do.
Yeah.
What'd you guys watch?
All right. You good, Parker?
Oh, okay. Well, mine's really stupid.
That's okay. That's
But
what I love. What you got for me?
But I saw this movie called Dirty Work, and it's directed by Bob Saget. And the reason I watched it was because it stars this comedian named Norm Macdonald, who
I love Norm
think is
Macdonald.
really great. So I wanted to watch it.
Yeah.
And it's like, imagine if like a cartoon starred real life Norm Macdonald and Artie Lang's 400-pound ass. And they get like thrown on the pavement and it looks intensely painful, but they just play it off like a cartoon.
Right.
And he made the stuntmen do that, where they just
Oh,
get thrown on the
geez.
pavement and skid their
Wait,
arms.
is it new or is it like?
It's
an
from
older-
like the 90s.
Okay, I was like,
But it's just,
I didn't know Bob Saget
it's-
was still making stuff.
It's got a really dark
He's
and
not.
stupid sense of humor, and I just recommend it if you want to, I don't know, an off-kilter comedy.
Awesome. How about you, Blake? What are you watching?
So it was actually for a film class this week. For the first time ever, I watched E.T.
Oh, nice.
And I'd never seen it before. I'd always heard clips and from it for everything.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
You
I'd never seen E.T. before.
you just now saw E.T.
Yeah.
Like just
I had never seen it before.
No,
And
man,
you-
no, man, you
No,
you
hold
missed
on.
the fucking boat on that.
Do you know what's
man.
really
It
gonna
had
make
to
you
be.
mad? Hold on.
You had to watch it
You
in
gotta watch that
childhood
stuff.
for it to.
Do you know what's going to make you mad? My first thought when watching the movie is, oh, this looks a lot like Stranger Things.
Oh man.
Not the other way
Oh
around.
man. That actually makes me
Man,
mad.
what did you didn't watch E.T.
No,
when you were a kid?
I watched bad Steven Seagal movies.
Oh,
That's actually better though.
Yeah.
I'm learning
So
so
I-
much.
I'm
That explains a lot.
because
Now that you know
about
that about
Blake.
me,
Yeah.
you're redefining like your entire mental
Steven
image of me.
Seagal, you should grow a ponytail.
You think I could do that? Look at me.
Well, I think you could. Yeah, if you worked on it for
No,
a few years.
but anyway, no, I loved E.T. though. It was a fun movie. I like the fact I always thought that like, what?
It's like when Cole's on was like, yeah, The Godfather. It's actually pretty good.
I love
No,
E.T.
No, but here's it. Like I always had a misconception. I always thought that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I always thought that like the government agents in the movie were purely malevolent, and then
Yeah.
I watched it and I'm like, oh, a few of them aren't that bad. Like
Yeah.
they're actually trying to help out. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Yeah. So anyway, I'd recommend this little picture. Not a whole lot of people have heard of it. It's called E.T.
Yeah.
Yeah, question. Like,
It
what,
introduced
are there
some-
any other like Spielberg classics you missed out on growing up? Or?
Not Spielberg, but like I've never seen Lord of the Rings.
Oh, wow.
Never seen Godfather. Never seen Titanic.
Skip Titanic.
Yeah, like I've seen every movie ever made except for the good ones.
Gotcha.
Yes, that's generally how my life works.
This explains so much
But
about
you
your
can
like
pr- you-
optimism.
yeah.
'Cause it's,
You
like,
could
every
tell
movie
me
you
about
watch,
the
you're like,
plots
oh.
of all those movies. You could tell me about Marlon Brando's performance.
Yes.
You could tell me about James Cameron's production schedule. That's film students, man. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I haven't seen The Godfather Part 2.
Oh,
I've only seen
I
the
will say
first one.
another good movie. I recently watched for that class too. We watched Rashomon by Akira Kurosawa.
Rashomon's
I love
great.
That was
I love
great.
Rashomon.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
I actually read a whole. I watched
back-
Rashomon, read a whole script
Yes.
on it. So.
I have seen a lot of Kurosawa, if that counts for anything.
The Kurosawa counts for a lot, my
Good,
friend.
okay.
Good job.
And then you've seen Star Wars, so
Yes.
same thing.
Yeah.
And
You're
that's
all
the one with
caught
the
up.
Klingons, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna go too much into mine, but great show on Netflix called Documentary Now.
Okay.
It's Armisen, our friend Armisen's show.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Yeah, and
I
it's
like him.
it's actually hilarious because it's if you like Portlandia, you're really gonna like this. Like the entire shtick of it's essentially like they're making fun of real documentaries that exist, but it's like super absurd, super like sketch kind of thing, and each episode's based around like them parodying a documentary. Like there's just so
That
many
sounds
weird ideas.
awesome. Fred Armisen's got a really unique sense of humor.
And he has a really interesting cast of people playing character bits and everything. So
Oh, I just realized in my head I was picturing Will Forte.
same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, Portlandia guy.
Yes,
that
got
guy.
it, okay.
Okay, he just released a stand-up special called Stand Up for Drummers.
Oh, really?
Which I'm gonna comment on. It's not for me. Clearly, I'm not the audience.
Well,
it's just
on the
it
bright
didn't-
side,
yeah.
Chris Rock stand-ups out. So
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he
tambourine,
copies it.
ironically named after a type of drum.
Oh, I will say also, because you asked, I have also not seen Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
okay.
But anyway,
That's
yeah, throw that out.
you know, that's the only movie Spielberg wrote, and you can like feel it a little bit.
Yeah.
So
No, I mean, I definitely recommend watching the original version, then watch the director's cut, then watch the remaster, and then
Then watch the final cut. Oh wait, that's Blade Runner.
Yeah, I mean,
just know that
any
the
movie.
script is an excuse to put things on the screen.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, I like that in movies. That's
Yeah.
like every
Yeah.
Michael Bay film.
I like Close Encounters.
Every J.J. Abrams film.
Yes.
Yeah, we're inspired by
Every
Spielberg.
Christopher Nolan. Nah, I'm not gonna make that claim.
All right, let's move. Ooh, I'm gonna fight you.
Hot
All right.
take.
Every PTA film.
Hey, no,
These are some hot takes.
Let's
All right,
rate it in.
Let's move to the news. All right, so first off, box office. Black Panther made another $108 million for its second weekend with only a 46.5% drop from week 1. Game Night opened in second place with 16.6 million. Peter Rabbit held strong with only a 28.3%
Every time
drop
I read that.
from last week to make 12.5 million in the third spot. In fourth was Annihilation, which opened with 11 million, and rounding out the top was 50 Shades Free to the 6.9 million. You're over here laughing, but recognize that your darling Annihilation, because it's sci-fi, lost to Peter Rabbit.
That classic
Wait a
film,
minute.
Peter
What was
Rabbit.
number 1 again?
Black Panther.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, Annihilation picked a bad weekend, didn't
Yep,
it?
it did.
Oh, fuck. How much did that movie cost?
Probably 100 million.
Oh,
around
my
that, yeah.
God, fourth?
Yeah, with only 11 million.
Oh, poor Alex
All right,
Garland,
next
man.
up,
This industry chews you up and spits you out. That's a talented guy.
Right. Joss Whedon leads Batgirl. Joss Whedon has officially stepped down as the writer and director of Batgirl for the DC Cinematic Universe. The director said he simply couldn't crack the story, but many are wondering if there's more to the story, especially due to the disappointment in Justice League. We'll talk about more about that later.
I was just offering a prayer to Alex Garland, by the way. I hope my boy makes it through. This is tough times.
Blumhouse's Halloween sequel officially wraps production. The new Halloween movie is officially wrapped production. The film's going to be a sequel to the original Halloween with
said
Jamie
that
Lee
twice.
Curtis returning, as well as John Carpenter coming back to the score.
Oh.
Halloween hits theaters October 19th.
I am so
Wait.
hyped for that. I'm really excited.
Is John Carpenter making it? Or is
He's
he just
involved, yeah.
He's just.
It's the first time he's been involved since Season of the Witch.
He's just doing the score, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, did he do Season of the Witch? Really?
That was the last one that he was involved in. I'm not even kidding.
Yep.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
All right, in an ESPN podcast, Chris Tucker confirmed that him and Jackie Chan are all set to return for the Rush Hour film. Teasing it would be the biggest one yet. The film still does not have a production or release date, but many are suspecting sooner rather than later.
You know the only one
I'm in.
not returning to Rush Hour? Brett Ratner.
Oh man. Yeah.
Yep.
Wonder why. Despite the film coming out in July, Mission Impossible Fallout has just wrapped production. According to director Christopher McQuarrie, all that's left is, quote, the stunt. We'll see if they're able to get the film done on time.
No, I like Christopher McQuarrie, so I'm excited for that.
What if Tom Cruise dies during one of these? Like, what if that happens?
Scientology magic will bring him back.
Yeah. I was
Yeah,
gonna
will
say,
they
maybe the clone.
release the movie? Will they Paul Walker him into it? Like, if he, what's gonna happen?
They'll still make another 3 without him.
Yeah,
All right.
probably.
Although the reception of The Last Jedi was mixed, director J.J. Abrams has confirmed that the script for Episode 9 is done and will begin filming in July of this year for a December 2019 release. J.J. returned with the writer Chris Terrio to finish the already 4th draft of the script, which was previously written by Colin Trevorrow.
Oh, I don't like those other two names at all.
Yeah, but, we'll see. 'Cause
Wow, man. Chris
it's-
Terrio, if you'll remember, wrote Justice League and Batman vs. Superman, and Colin Trevorrow wrote Jurassic World.
Ah. See, I like some bits of Jurassic World, but it was a movie I felt fine watching once. I'm like, I got the point. I'm gonna
Yes,
move on
yeah.
now.
You can expect in the new Star Wars film a giant super weapon, most likely.
Will it be a blue beam from space?
It'll be something,
Okay.
because taking that out kind of threw everybody off balance.
I'm interested to see Episode 9 because I've moved past caring about Star Wars being like something I'm excited for,
Yeah.
and I'm more interested in the politics behind it. So I'm really interested to see them like, okay, what is J.J. Abrams intentionally going to throw out?
But it is politics.
Yeah, it's
Kathleen
anything of-
Kennedy's like issuing executive orders that you can go watch
Yeah.
and read for 2 hours, and
Hollywood's its own like political movement right
Yeah,
now, with
man.
people playing favorites and electing.
they
the
got
people they want.
followers, man.
I'll throw out an unpopular opinion. As long as they keep making Star Wars movies, I'm gonna watch them. I'm gonna enjoy them. That's
Yeah.
just me.
But what if they
we'll all
start
watch 'em.
slipping messages in that they want you to kill a certain
I'm too dumb for those.
demographic of people?
Yeah, I'm way
That's
too
an
dumb for
amazing-
those.
Or they start
That's-
saying that hope is
See,
better
no,
than fighting back
no,
or
no.
some
Here's
bull
what I really
crap
want,
like
though.
that. What if they start doing that?
I gotta tell you what I really want though, actually.
Remember when she said that to
I
him?
remember. I
Yeah,
remember.
yeah.
No, what I
That
really
was the point of the movie.
Okay. Well, one thing I want them to bring back. Do y'all remember like the Gendy Tartakovsky like 2003 Clone Wars series?
Yes,
I
it was
loved it.
wonderful.
I want those to come back. I want that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
I want
like
Mace Windu
cool
punching
violence.
droids to death. That'd be great.
To-
Yeah, cool violence
Yeah.
would be cool.
To finish this thought off, my dad texted me the other day, and he was like, he's been binge watching the Clone Wars TV show because like it's all on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
And he's just like, this is so good, why are the
Yeah.
pickles like this? And then he saw Revenge of the Sith on TV, and he was like, the prequels are so bad compared to the TV show. Why did they just
man.
have?
Wait,
Why did they
And
just
they
have
like
the TV
Rebels
show?
is pretty good too.
Yeah.
Because
gonna
when
say-
there's not as much constraint on the story and they can just do whatever they want, it's more entertaining.
Agreed.
And they won't do that for the movies. The movies exist as a bracket to support all the other stuff.
What Clone Wars series was he watching? Was he watching the 2003 one or the newer one?
The newer one, but
Okay.
he's also seen the old one. So
Got you.
It's funny. It's
Yeah.
just funny, like the fact that you can say a cartoon's better than like the big George Lucas directed Power View.
It's
Well-
true though.
well-
Like when they came out with Clone Wars, when they first came out with it, not the fucking movie, forget that, but like the first season of the show, I was so freaking into it, man. I loved like all the storylines they were doing, and
Right.
more General Grievous, of course, who I have a soft spot for. as a
No,
Star
I
Wars
liked him in
fan.
the cartoons. I did not like him in the movie.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
movie
no,
was-
it's hilarious.
Yeah, but then one thing I did like too, because like I said, I love the original like 2003 comic or cartoon series because it was made by the same guy that did Samurai Jack, Dexter's Laboratory.
Yeah, man, the
because
animation's
so to clarify,
fantastic.
there's the 2D version and there's like
Yes,
the
the
3D
2D.
CGI one.
I have not seen the 3D. I've only seen the 2D.
The 3D one's amazing. Yeah.
Wait, what's the topic?
What? Yeah, so I actually, you had a perfect segue set up when you were saying about people like implanting messages into movies,
Yeah,
and I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
funny you say that, but
Oh,
you know,
my bad, sorry.
No, I'd love to, I could talk hours about the Clone Wars.
Dude, this is a whole other tangent.
But speaking of implanting people, recently I just saw actually this morning I woke up and I saw a trailer for the Heathers remake. Apparently the trailer came like a month ago. Paramount's making it, and immediately because they're like, oh Heather, I was like, oh no, is this a Heathers remake?
Too many Heathers.
And I didn't recognize it at all. I'm like, why out of all movies are they remaking this? You know, it's like remaking American Beauty right now to me.
Yeah,
like, why
yeah.
would you bring like these weird like tort movies out?
Can you imagine if they made American Beauty like last year?
Well, if they remade it with Armie Hammer, everyone would be fine with it.
If the
But-
Army Hammer.
But that's my new joke is like recast Calling by Your Name with Kevin
Oh my
Spacey.
God,
and the
is it
entire movie
American
isn't a thing.
Beauty?
Basically.
She's an American Beauty.
But I've
Funny
noticed
how
this
little
trend.
things change. Huh?
I've noticed this
Yeah.
trend because I watched Thoroughbreds this last week. Really enjoyed it. I can't really talk much about it because it hasn't come out yet. But look for the review up on the website here soon. But I will say that it fits this worrying trend I've noticed of these sociopathic teenage female like drama things.
Yeah.
Where it uses like quirky comedy and like what was the guy we said that makes like Glee, like Ryan Murphy or
Oh yeah,
whatever?
Ryan Murphy.
Yeah, like he's making like Scream Queens. He's making American Horror Story.
Yeah,
and
which like they fill with those types of characters, and they used to orbit the main characters. Like if you look at the '90s sitcoms, they're like Mean Girls or something like that. But now they're the protagonists, and they're the people that the audience emotionally, or rather, I guess, unemotionally,
Yeah,
if
are
they're
supposed
vibing
to,
with them, connect with them, and it creates such a that's bad, isn't it?
Well, I was gonna say yeah, because like that's not it. Because I mean they did it in like with Spring Breakers like 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah,
There's
but
also
that-
another one coming out with the girl that played Negasonic Teenage Warhead in Deadpool.
Right. Oh,
yeah.
There's one coming out with her. It's like her and another girl kill people for their web show. It's just like you said, it's a weird trend of it. And I don't know where that's coming from.
That's so petty. Then is that a movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They make a movie about that?
I was just laughing.
It's like a
'cause I
dark
like that
iCarly.
You actually remembered
It's
the
like
entire
a
name.
Yeah.
Charlie. But like, look, when the thing about movies like that, where somebody goes crazy and ends up stepping over the line, and doing something violent, it's something like American Psycho, where you're walked through that process, and you're never supposed to like the people.
No.
And so, how do they get this across? Is it like punk rock? Is it like
Yeah.
Django
Also,
Unchained?
what was that Netflix series that just had that too? It was like the kid. It's like the guy and the boy.
Oh,
and the girl.
the end of the effing
Oh,
movie.
yeah,
no,
that,
Is
yes.
that where they're spray painting dicks? Is that the one I'm thinking
No,
of?
that's every Netflix.
Oh
show.
yeah, but no, that's American Vandal, but I
American
guess similar
Vandal's a
thing.
different-
Yeah,
yeah.
they're all over the place.
I
So
just-
like,
yeah.
okay, so
Okay, Blake off with that. Okay.
I know, Blake, go ahead. I need more time to gestate.
No,
this
I was gonna
anyway.
say I just think it's weird to like look at the world that we're living in right now in terms of like we have more and more violence among teenagers, and it's just scary to see that like we're seeing more and more characters like this. I don't know whether that means we need to do more about
And
positive mental health.
these
or what do you
things
think?
result in mass violence, like that sort of thing, or just like really extreme acts. And then 13 Reasons Why,
I was gonna
which
say
is
that-
the worst
the-
use of a suicide in terms of the suicide prevention place, whatever, the official thing. They said that the worst thing you can do is like paint them
Glorify
as a
it like
sympathetic
that.
figure,
Yes.
glorify it.
No,
But they did-
season 2 is coming out, and
Yeah.
that was like one of the most watched shows.
Because-
Selena Gomez is executive producing it. All stacks of Spring Breakers.
No,
Okay,
here's the thing. I have a point. I'm sorry.
Go for it, you're
So
good.
like with the violence thing, Django Unchained.
Yep.
Like that's a movie. It's like a grindhouse movie where the main character just like kills a bunch of white people that are awful.
But
Yeah, but we are on board 100% with Django when we're getting in the movie.
Yeah.
They don't have to really convince us. They just need to reinforce it a little bit. If you're if you're like doing a high school thing where somebody kills a bunch of people or a couple other people, there's no way you're gonna sell me on that.
Right.
Like, there's
And
absolutely no way.
If you're trying to paint them as a protagonist, it's just not gonna work.
Yeah, it's just too.
Yeah, to bring this into like the moral context, whatever. It's interesting because in the 90s, thousands, there was a lot of like hand wringing over movies like Django or Inglourious Basterds or anything Tarantino made, basically, because they're like, is it okay to normalize hyper violence? And everyone said yes, because it's them killing Nazis, it's them killing slave owners.
Yeah.
And in Kill Bill, it's empowering to watch Uma Thurman murder people because they murdered her, raped her, killed her family, right? Like, you want her to get revenge.
It's righteous violence.
Yeah,
it's righteous. She has a goal that you're on board with.
Right. So as a human being, you go, okay, cool. If anyone did this to me, it's justifiable to like seek whatever.
Yeah, I really deserve
Well, I mean, even like John Wick, like back there, they killed his dog and he kills 120 people.
Yeah, who are all like criminal, whatever. And that's what makes it so murky is people have capitalized off of us going, hey, it's okay to do this, yet they're making all these movies that aren't normal. Like, it's it's about everyday life, you know?
You know who else is bad for that? Is Yui Boll. He's made like 3 or 4 movies. Like, his whole Rampage series is about killing innocent people. And I'm like,
I've heard about that.
How do these keep getting made? Like, I just find that to be so strange. And
I thought it was like an oddity, the first one that came out, but he made more, which is gross.
I understand, like, it's been that way in TV for a while. You have like all the crime shows, like Criminal Minds and all of that.
Yeah,
but it's like
the protagonist though is
it's always about catching those guys or stopping those guys. And I feel like we're seeing more and more of those people, those evil people, being the protagonists.
More and more of unjust violence being glorified, which is huge to think about.
Yeah,
especially when people are churning out entertainment so fast. They don't have time to really think about that sort of shit.
I think
they're just making it because it has an audience.
It's even funnier because that was the big push against YouTubers. Was everyone was so worried about YouTubers having a negative influence on kids, and again, we're all like, no, it's fine. Kids are consuming the content, whatever. And then now you see Logan Paul, you see all of these really, really controversial people.
Don't even
up.
get me started on this, because YouTube Kids is a fucking rabbit hole. Look up the shit with YouTube Kids, and you will probably.
Are you talking like Elsagate or what?
Yeah, I'm talking about Elsagate. Look that up, please. Do yourself
I think
a favor.
what we need to do to fix this is, like President Trump said, we need a rating system to indicate how severe this content is. It's not like we've already had that for 60 years.
I want to see thumbs up and thumbs down.
Right. Well, my overriding point with that was, I feel like Hollywood's trying to catch up with YouTubers, right? Because so much of YouTube content was people being disgusting non-humans in society. Of like, think about every prank video of some kid running into a supermarket, taking milk and smashing it on the ground. You know,
and fuck it is what it is. All it matters is the consistency. They built the audience on the consistency of them doing that, and it being a little funnier each time, so people keep tuning in.
And then obviously everyone hears stories about kids dying from eating Tide Pods or whatever. Yeah. But my issue is YouTube. YouTube is a very like self-contained market hole, right? Like some people, if you hear Rooster Teeth, you know exactly what it is. Other people have no idea what you're talking about, and they're like, "Bless you," you know, like what does that mean? But with Hollywood, that's pop culture. That's gonna seep into the very seams of everything going on. So when they're replicating that, when I see things, like when I watch Thoroughbreds, and I go, "Ooh, this is 100% that YouTube culture of girls like." No one's talking to each other in that movie. Yeah. Everyone's saying quips.
Like Shane Dawson's movie too. I fucking watched that.
Everyone's just trying to sound cool.
But and the thing is, that's not just mindlessly absorbed. It rebounds off of real life, and because I think art's reactive, or at least that type of art's reactive.
100%.
And an example of this that's perfect is I was watching Hulu because I just got the $5 student discount. Right. I'm a student. I'm a young guy, so I'm the perfect person to give that to. All that free advertising, you know, it makes sense. So I'm watching it. And there's a Tide commercial, right? And it's this baby holding a bag of Tide Pods. And she's like, and then the mother takes it from her and zips it up, and it says, "Introducing new child-proof Tide Pod."
Oh, man.
So they're like, here, you know, your child's not going to eat it, we promise. No. Nobody's eating these things for real.
That's insane.
I do want to make a minor note. This is a bit of a tangent. In regards to Thoroughbreds, I just want to say rest in peace, Anton Yelchin.
100%.
He was a great actor. I really miss him.
Yes.
Like in that movie, he's like the only like moral character in the entire thing, which is ironic.
Green Room, he's so like primal. You relate to him so heavily.
Oh yeah. I related to Patrick Stewart in that movie, but or the pit bull that tore someone's throat out.
The pit bull. I always relate to the pit bull.
But yeah, so it's really that's an interesting word, reactionary. I feel like Hollywood for so long was trying to ignore it, and then we made fun of Hollywood for like making Michael Bay movie kind of thing.
Yeah, so now they want to be hip
But
instead,
by
they don't
being
understand
hip,
it.
it's so weirdly gross that like instead of instead of just having kids use Twitter normally, or anything like that, they're remaking Heathers, which is about like murdering people that you like don't get along with.
Yeah, it's so gross, and like the dirty truth is because we really suck.
Yeah,
and they really they shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, and like the entire messaging behind movies like Mean Girls, or whatever, where it has the same like plot minus the murder, is like
minus the murder, an important part.
It's like, oh hey, we're all horrible at communicating with each other, so we can get past that by realizing we're all upset and depressed, and then get along, right? But instead of saying these, no, let's take it to the furthest degree, kill each other, and then there's no resolution because the character's a psychopath.
And the reason nobody kills anybody in Mean Girls is because it's just petty day-to-day life.
Yeah, exactly.
It's never going to escalate emotionally to the point where she's going to kill somebody. If she killed somebody at the end of Mean Girls, would you say it jumped the shark?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I'd be like,
yeah.
Well, what's
it
Tina
jumped
Fey
the shark,
doing?
didn't it?
Yeah.
Now,
and don't say it's about tone. I don't think it's fucking possible. I'm just like, grow up.
Now, one movie I think that handled it in a kind of interesting way was, did y'all see Nerve? With
Emma Roberts? I never saw it.
I thought that was an interesting way to handle. I don't know how I felt about the movie, but I thought it went about it a different way.
I avoid everything with Emma Roberts. I'm sorry.
That's
she
fine.
betrayed me with the Nancy Drew movie, and I just checked out.
It's probably the most innocent thing you've ever said.
I was a closet fan of Nancy Drew for years. I read like 12 of the books, and then the movie came out. I'm like, I'm gonna finally be able to do this openly and proudly, and it made me embarrassed.
I had like a brain moment. Rose, Emma Roberts is at the crux of a lot of this because she was in Scream Queens.
Yes.
She's in Scream 4 and did the exact same thing. Wanted to be famous for killing people.
Yep.
And then now it's like I said, Nerve was kind of the other way around. So it's all Emma Roberts.
Now we're getting somewhere.
I know.
She's like a microcosm of what's wrong with society.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why
No,
I feel
no, I don't say that. We need to get her on the podcast. We'll get her own voice on the
Emma
podcast.
has to say.
Yeah, I'm completely kidding, but that's a funny
You actually kind of blew my mind because like I was thinking about her. I'm like, isn't she in Scream Queens? Yeah. Isn't she in Scream 4? And I was like,
Scream 4 too.
Yeah. I was just zoning out, like,
she's in Valentine's Day where she kills like 10 people. No, wait, that's not true.
I'm like, I didn't know
she was one of the
Valentine's
gas
Day
masks,
cool.
huh? That's crazy.
No, that's My Bloody Valentine.
Oh, okay.
I was like, isn't that like the weird Zac Efron character vehicle?
Valentine's Day, no. It's the one with like Taylor Swift and Taylor Lautner and all them.
You're thinking of Charlie St. Cloud.
Right, apparently.
Yeah. You're thinking of the Ted Bundy movie? No.
So Scream actually kind of covered all of these topics, but it makes fun of it. It's like, hey, guess what? With 24-hour news cycle, society is getting so vapid and so obsessed with murder and stuff. Kids are gonna start replicating this, and then instead we've just made movies about people who actually are these 24-hour news cycle kind of kids.
Yeah, people keep saying 24-hour news cycle like it hasn't constricted even more. It's like it's down to the minute. It's however many minutes there are in a day news cycle.
Yeah.
Well, that's like I remember. There's a great thing I loved. It was a documentary called "We Live in Public." Have you all ever heard of it?
No.
It's about a guy. He was talking about. His name was Josh Harris. He was like one of the first big internet TV pioneers.
Yeah.
And just talking about how the old saying was that in the future everybody would be famous for 15 minutes, and he disagreed. He thought that in the future everybody was going to be famous all the time.
Oh wow.
And I think we've seen that with the rise of like Vine and Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat and all that. You have people who are more and more trying to get themselves known, and I think these movies are reflecting that people are doing more and more to retain that fame for as long as they can.
So here's the question: the more celebrities we have, because we've definitely gotten more over the past 10 years.
Yeah.
It's not just Bruce Willis and everybody. Does it make fame more meaningless, and are people starting to see how fucking shallow it is?
100%. Because I would say watch any movie in that 40s, 50s, even early 60s kind of genre, and I feel like people lose the fact that Frank Sinatra was in so many movies.
Yeah.
Frank Sinatra can't act. Frank Sinatra, Frank Sinatra
like Elvis
sings.
was in 20 movies.
Elvis, Marilyn Monroe, all these people. Marilyn Monroe can't act, but they were in it because they managed to become these stars, right?
Yeah.
And there was a lot of work and a lot of inherent
I'm gonna throw Ludacris into that pot.
Yeah, and
Ludacris the rapper?
Oh man.
In Fast and Furious.
Okay.
He's in every one
100%.
of them.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought you meant that he was in movies in the 40s and 50s. I'm pretty sure he isn't.
No.
I don't think he has a time machine.
Ludacris is a modern day Frank Sinatra.
The modern version also is Justin Timberlake, think about how much stuff Justin Timberlake's in, where it's he's passable, he gets by, he's the least offensive of it, but so is Frank Sinatra. He is passable, right?
He's like a more Wooden Orlando Bloom.
Yeah.
That's a little hard to do.
Well, the question I would have there is, do you feel like it's easier for certain professions to do it than others? Because I feel like we've had a couple of wrestlers become actors. Like you've got The Rock, you got Dave Bautista. understand they're both great.
Well, it's the same profession. Like they're like the whole point of professional
they're
wrestling
actors,
is
yeah.
acting.
The Rock can act. Have you seen Snitch?
Yeah, I've seen Snitch.
Yeah, Snitch, he like sheds a tear. I'm like, dude.
I didn't know he could
Women
cry.
must love you. He's got such emotional range on top of the giant boulders.
I love that
on
though because they
body.
try so hard to make him look like a normal human being. Like he doesn't
He's still like
fit
7
in
foot
cars.
tall rock.
He's a fucking mutant, and we have to swallow that he has emotions and feelings.
There's a scene where he leaves his job and gets inside of a giant pickup truck, and I realized they had to give that to him because if his car was like a Ford Pinto, he wouldn't fit. You know?
Imagine him in a Prius.
Just like just try to drive to
It'd
work.
be like the Simpsons joke about the very tall man in the very small car.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but to get back to that, actually no.
What were we talking
Yeah,
about?
we were
I
talking
was
about The
like-
Rock, man.
You're going on
Okay,
a lot of
so-
tangents.
Oh no, about fame. About fame.
About fame.
I want to live forever.
Yeah. So basically, you get your 15 minutes of fame, I think how it works now. And if you can keep it going, then
Yeah.
it'll keep going. But if you can't figure it out, if you can't find an audience, because we're in a point now where you can reach an audience no matter how big or small it is, there's going to be a niche of people who are probably going to like it, no matter how much it sucks,
Well,
right?
I think there's a certain like immunity certain people have though about like Meryl Streep, right? People go like, oh, she's great, right? Like people go, oh, like. And ironically, Kevin Spacey had this, where people were like, "Oh, Kevin Spacey's a great actor," and they kind of stay eternally famous because they're great, right?
Yeah, they've
And
been endowed.
We
with
should
great-
know
But
we're
be
not
honest with
equating
me.
Meryl Streep and Kevin Spacey. They have a lot of
Yeah.
different things about them as well.
Here's the
Yeah.
thing, fuck Meryl Streep, man. Well, think of the
Good
last
Lord.
think of the last Meryl Streep performance that you saw, and you're like, this is one for the age of like what? Florence Foster fucking Jenkins? Did anybody see that?
I think Meryl
Mamma
Streep's
Mia,
incredibly
classic
overrated.
Okay, the
Mamma
last
Mia too.
her last great performance in my mind, and I may be omitting a few, is when she played a fashion designer in a romantic comedy.
Devil Wears Prada.
She did
That's a
great
great
in that,
movie, yeah.
Yes, but I'm not seeing the justification.
No, I agree Meryl Streep's overrated, but I used her name because people go, she's great, so no matter what she does from now on, people will say, she's a great, like, you know, she's like...
so what's
yeah.
her in?
Well, hold on. Let me,
Her in
yes.
is that she came up with Harvey Weinstein and defended him for a little while after the shit came out.
Honestly, yeah.
Called him God one time.
She did. Yeah, she actually did.
I want to throw this out at you
yeah.
though. So, like talking about how like the last performances haven't been great.
Yeah.
Take like Anthony Hopkins for example. Like
Yeah.
he was in Transformers last. Does that make him less of an actor?
I mean,
But he's not
also in
getting
Westworld, though.
nominated.
Yes.
But he's not getting nominated. Well, he was great. He was good in Westworld.
He
did
was.
his
He
thing.
killed it in Westworld.
But he's not getting nominated for Transformers.
You're right.
You know, and I consider
should've
Florence Foster fucking Jenkins to be the Transformers of indie movies. Or
Well, also, I think the notion there is that a lot of these actors, like Tom Hardy's never been nominated for a movie role, unfortunately, like even though he's amazing, but he's getting nominated for television roles. And,
Yeah.
and that's the unfortunate notion that movies aren't becoming as important as television series anymore because we need more content. Like we need to be able to binge and get inside of a world and like the whole service notion of content.
Yeah.
And a movie like if Meryl Streep comes out with like a really, really Emmy-nominated dark drama kind of thing, she's gonna be like, you know, that's gonna be your, hey, guess what? Even though she hasn't been a good movie recently, she's still a good actress. You know?
Yes, exactly.
And
we
Anthony
need that,
Hopkins-
man. Like, okay, wait, hang on. Doubt. I have not seen Doubt, and I want to. So I'm going to give her a... But, like, it's not overt.
Yeah.
Like, but, okay. Yeah.
I
go
have
for
a
it.
solution here.
Yes.
We're gonna cast Meryl Streep as a teenage girl who's trying to make her YouTube channel famous. So she starts killing people.
She'd be able to sell it.
Yeah, I would totally watch that. I would love to watch a movie like a high school drama where everybody's
Yeah.
like 70 years old and they just don't reference it.
Right.
It's like because the whole thing of TV of like them getting much older actors. You got like
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood, James Earl Jones, all
I
them.
thought we had a rule. No more Clint
Oh
Eastwood
yeah,
on the podcast.
no more negative comments. Anyway, no, I just want really old actors playing high school students and just not referencing it at all. I would love that.
Here's the thing. What I think Meryl Streep is a brand and a very valuable one, and they're doing everything they can to keep her afloat without having to really just give us something interesting. You know? So, but
Well, I mean,
everything's a brand now. I think that's more important than the actual movie in a lot of ways, in terms of how a lot of people think about movies now.
Isn't that all YouTubers are though? Are they just brands? You know, that's the entire.
I would say so.
They
yeah.
are brands because it's not synthesized. It's just, hey, I'm here. I'm gonna be here for 10 minutes and then I'm gonna go away.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
'Cause I mean, there are people who are famous just for reacting to other people's content.
That's exactly right. H3H3 is a fucking powerhouse right now, and the stuff that he made himself, I think,
It's funny.
is funny.
Yeah.
But it didn't do it. You know, it didn't get on the trending.
No,
it
not
didn't
at
get
all.
him a
Yeah.
podcast.
Just because you replicate Tim and Eric doesn't mean that
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But yeah, for sure. So overall, do you think this is like the downfall of society, or do you think this is like a 2-year-long trend before we move on, and the whole sociopathic, like, no empathy thing. Like, do you see a light at the end of the tunnel, or do you see this just getting worse?
Like, you go first. Yes.
I think in the end it's all going to turn out all right, because I'm going to liken this to a very weird example. I'm going to liken it to the bro country movement in genre and country music, in that, like, it was around for like 2 years. It was really bad. Everybody hated it. And then everybody started looking back and like, oh crap, we were looking at people in the wrong way, and they've moved on from it.
You need to clarify what that means.
Bro country genre is basically country music for frat boys.
Okay.
So it's like anything like by like Florida Georgia Line.
Yeah, I was about to say Florida Georgia
Yes,
Line.
they were actually their album was the one that started it. It was their album.
They were innovators, absolutely.
Yes, no, but yeah, so it's like them, like a lot of like the Luke Bryan songs and all them.
Right.
And they're all looking back now. Even Luke Bryan has said like he regrets some of the songs he put out in like 2013, 2014.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think it's a cycle. Like it's what's in right now, but I think they're going to be able to look back at it and use that to like move on as they go.
I was actually going to ask you, like, just hearing the title of that, if that was, because I noticed this weird trend where, like, there's a lot of, like, hip-hop almost inside
Yeah, so
country.
it's all about, like, jacked up trucks, girls
Yeah.
with painted on jeans, and drinking Fireball.
I heard a Luke Bryan song, and he said he was gonna make it rain. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What?
And also, he talked about having had a mixtape of Conway and T-Pain. Like, Conway Twitty and T-Pain.
Conway!
Yes. Which do not mix. I can tell you with certainty.
Right.
I've tried.
Oh, man.
Are you sure you didn't mispronounce Kanye? Are you sure that's not what
No,
happened?
he meant Conway.
Yeah. God. Anyway, I have a point, okay?
Go for it.
So, I think the power dynamics right now, since everybody has a voice, are just spread all around like a shotgun blast, and nobody knows what to do. Because if you look at like the 80s, right? People would tell the studios the movies aren't bad by the movies are bad by not seeing the movie. And then if the movie was good, usually, or at least crowd pleasing, which is easy to do, then it would do well. But now, there are so many people that have to react to it and give their opinions that they go see it anyway and give them their money anyway, and just bitch and complain about it. But ultimately, what the hell do they care?
Yep.
If you didn't like the
Yeah,
movie.
you still paid for a ticket or whatever.
Transformers. We keep coming back to that. I think it's such a focal point. But like people go see it because they feel like they have to have an opinion on it. You know, they don't tell people we don't like this and we're not going to pay for it. We're just gonna opt out. Sorry.
Well, I was in defense of Transformers, which is not a sentence I thought I'd ever say. I don't think they're made for the audience here. They're made for foreign audiences.
Now they're made for foreign audiences.
Yeah.
They used to be like all, you know, a patriot. They had the American flag going and shit, but now.
Again, furthering the point that movies aren't really the platform for quality storytelling anymore, and it's more
I guess
television.
not, but it's so disappointing. Man.
I mean, every once in a while you get a good movie, but the rest of the time it's like for them to make hundreds of millions of dollars, it's like they can't.
And it's so refreshing when there's a really great movie now.
You hear Adam Sandler talk about it because people are like, why is it that every once in a while, like, we know you're capable of making quality movies, but why are you making garbage? He's like, I just want to be profitable. You know, he's like, this isn't me like saying this is my statement of where I think art needs to be.
He's got his whole squad of people that he keeps fed. That's what he does.
Another one that does it is like Seltzer and Feinberg, the ones that did like Epic Movie and all that. Like, the movies aren't good, but they always turn a profit because they take like $500,000 to make, and they make like $10 million at the box office.
What they realize is the under 80 IQ market wasn't being catered to, so they just pumped out as many other not another teen movie, epic movie, disaster, not another movie.
Not another teen movie was not them though.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It wasn't?
No.
Oh, okay.
That one's actually pretty good.
Yeah, that one's good. That one's decent.
But I said not another movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever.
I got you.
We're gonna move.
They did like Vampires Suck. And
Vampires suck.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Well, I feel like
they had an audience. They kept going. They had 0 on Rotten Tomatoes every single time.
I feel like we're at a natural stopping point for this topic. We milked this to death. I'm personally a little pessimistic, but we'll see where it goes.
I'm optimistic.
I'm glad.
Thank
You always are.
Thank you, Blake. We need you.
As long as you're not watching Steven Seagal movies, everything's going to be good. Let's run a quick commercial break. We're going to show something, and we'll be right back.
All right, cool.
One of my favorite movies of the year is I, Tonya, a brutal biopic about the disgraced Olympic athlete Tonya Harding, who was eaten alive by the tabloids after her alleged involvement in the assault of her competitor Nancy Kerrigan. I, Tonya is also a story about how we remember things, both as individuals and as an audience. Tonya is a character who is haunted by her past at every step, crippled by low self-worth due to years of abuse and neglect from her parents and husband. Yet while Tanya's history informs so much of her identity, what one remembers and what actually happened can be two different things. Screenwriter Stephen Rogers reminds us of this by showing the differing perspectives of several key figures in Tanya's life, by having characters break the fourth wall in the middle of the scene, or cutting to documentary-style interview sequences with the characters set 30 years after the fact. Tanya posits herself as a victim of everyone else's bad decisions, which she very well may be, but this narrative is in opposition to everything printed about Harding thus far. The film doesn't necessarily suggest Tanya as a hero, but it grants her the empathy that journalists and judges never did. With this observation, Tanya highlights the more far-reaching social issue with memory, which is how bad faith and exaggeration have come to rule the 24-hour news cycle and pervade public consciousness. After watching the movie at Austin Film Festival, I had a fascinating conversation with another woman in line who said that all this time she thought Tanya Harding was caught red-handed assailing Nancy Kerrigan with a baseball bat. That is categorically false for many reasons, yet this was a common enough misconception that the film Tanya even mentions it explicitly in one comedic gag. Another thing Tanya does with disturbing honesty is portray the cycle of abuse between Tanya and both her mother and her husband later on. Don't get me wrong, this film is still definitely a comedy. It just is not a comedy that makes you want to feel good. Many of the gags include sequences of domestic violence, choreographed like physical comedy, or shallow tabloid-style digs about Tanya's appearance, class, and overall character. Or, best of all, Allison Janney's incredible deadpan narcissism. And of course, there are a few knee-bashing jokes thrown in as well that will make you laugh and immediately feel bad about it. I haven't been able to stop thinking about Tanya since seeing it at Austin Film Festival. Margot Robbie, who produced the film as well as starred in it, director Craig Gillespie, and writer Stephen Rogers accomplished an incredible feat, turning a sensationalist media scandal into a sort of redneck Sophoclean tragedy. It's one of the greatest calls for empathy I've seen in a single film in a long time, and I can't recommend it enough as you decide what movie to see this weekend.
And we're back. So, we had a good, nice last topic.
Yeah.
It definitely got a lot more philosophical than I thought. I thought we were going to stick with the thing, but...
Yeah, I'm too smart. I'm too dumb for that kind of stuff.
Freudian slip there.
Who's that?
But I think the next topic we had to talk about, you saw in the news, Batgirl.
Oh,
I was really, I feel like every single week we have some DC juicy gossip, but as we said, it's like no one signs NDAs in DC,
just,
so there's just, it's a news, like a leaky faucet.
Yeah.
So it came out that Joss Whedon left the project, and there's a lot of awkward things here because Joss Whedon's been very vocal at wanting to do DC stuff, like talking about
Specifically, Wonder Woman,
female-centered. Yeah, a lot of female DC characters he said he could bring light to. Yet, now that he's off the topic, he's saying that he had nothing but issues coming up with any kind of quality content to make with the character, which raises a lot of questions.
It is just so sad to finally see Joss Whedon walk away with his tail between his legs.
Yeah.
Because it was bound to happen at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he just finally realized he can't write for women.
No,
Besides,
it's
like, not since Buffy.
Yeah, not to be too, like, I guess, negative with the topic, but
Yes.
it is fascinating that he's been, there's a really, like, a parabolic arc kind of thing of people were like, oh, Buffy's kind of campy, whatever, and then immediately people are like, oh, wait, no, this is cool, female empowerment, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
He rode the wave, all the way to Avengers, and Avengers kind of cemented him as, like, hey, he knows what he's doing, right? Blah, blah, blah. And then they brought him for Justice League, like, oh, yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And then people watch Justice League and they go, oh, that's weird. Like, the Joss Whedon parts are kind of the worst parts of it, like, that's weird. And then people start, and then
especially Lois Lane and his mom. Seriously, find that scene and watch that.
And then there's been a lot of, like, this personal dichotomy, I guess, not to get in his personal life, but just, like, ever since he came out, he had the affair in his life and everything like that, and then it became kind of weird that he was, like, harshly targeting certain Hollywood figures for their personal behavior, yet his closet wasn't clean. And then... and then people kind of, feminist scholars and people who critique things, putting it under the microscope and saying, just because he declared himself the most, like, universal figure, that maybe he wasn't the best person to be doing this content in the first place, maybe he should let other people, whatever. And then this also, I guess, to wrap it up, ties into our topic of like Golden Boys being handed the same projects over and over again. So, like, Jon Favreau and Marvel constantly has handed the project over and over, and Disney now, whatever.
But I was shocked to hear this because I was under the impression Batgirl was like a passion project of his, because he'd been working on it for like a decade. So he just says, I have no ideas, and leaves.
Yeah.
That's something else, man. He hit a wall somewhere where he just, like, but That's a good question, though. If you were Joss Whedon, or anybody, and you said, how do I make a Batgirl movie?
Right.
Especially when, you know, if you look at past attempts, we got Catwoman.
Yeah.
Didn't really go well. Elektra, you know,
Also
Wonder
didn't really
Woman is not the same as Batgirl.
Yeah, because a woman
So-
actually made it and actually like cared about the character, took out all the bad parts of the character, and you know,
Yeah.
made revitalized it.
And
You know.
considering how delusional his Wonder Woman script is, like
Yeah.
if you read it, it's like
Yeah, it isn't
it's
at all.
unexplainable, but it's just wrong. Considering that, it could have been a train wreck, and I think he saw that coming.
Yeah.
So that's just good on him for not doing that to himself.
So have they mentioned who they're going to try to get instead of him? Like, did they know what's going on here?
It doesn't matter. It's probably going to be bad.
I mean,
No. I'm actually looking forward to it because I think it has to be good now because they're tired of all this this fucking drama behind the scenes, I'm sure, and they want to have a tone. They want to have something unique, just anything unique to offer. So I doubt it will be a bad movie because it's a big risk to take. And yeah.
actually, I don't see any news about who they replaced yet.
I don't think they have anybody
But
yet.
they're replacing him with a female writer for sure.
Oh, cool. All right,
So,
good.
Perfect.
So maybe they haven't done a big announcement on who they're going to replace.
That would be
It takes
better.
a bit.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Ron Howard. We'll see.
Ron Howard is the female writer.
It's a new director.
He puts on a wig.
I will say one director I would love to see work because I think this person, not a great writer but an awesome director, would be Chad Stahelski, the guy that like worked on John Wick and all those.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the man knows how to make an action movie. So if he was able to work with a talented female writer to get that character right, he'd have a mix of a great character writing and a great like action dynamic in that as well. Because I feel like I want to see what that guy can do with a superhero. Like if he takes like a grounded world like John Wick.
Yeah, imagine Batgirl with a John Wick tone. She's just kicking ass.
It's such a shame because I'm a huge DC fan. But my issue with Marvel movies is just the fact that I don't care about the characters at all compared to DC because I just like their origin stories. I like what they represent a lot more. And it's such a shame because Batgirl, there's so many directions you could take. You know?
Any direction, literally anything.
Because there's like 3 different timelines I enjoy, whether it's Oracle, whether it's whatever, and the fact that, you know, the fact that you can look at that and say, I don't have any ideas, you know, it's like almost admitting cowardice in the current climate.
Yeah.
That's you saying, oh, Wonder Woman is actually good. I don't have like, you know, I'm not good enough to make anything here.
Maybe the ginger thinning hairline is just common among weak misogynists.
I will say question real quick.
That's a Louis C.K. joke. They kind of look similar.
Question real quick though. Who wrote Mad Max Fury Road? Do y'all remember? Was it George Miller?
No, it was George Miller.
Okay.
Yeah, George. That was a
I feel
unified
like
vision.
he had like a strong female character in there, but like I want to see, like I said, a good action director paired with someone who actually knows how to write well for female characters. So also, I can't remember who wrote Atomic Blonde. That'd be kind of fun as well.
But yeah, I feel like the screenwriting department, if we're talking about big studios, they're really giving those screenwriting jobs to just whoever will do it. Or they're not looking for auteurs or people who are talented in the screenwriting department to do it. It's just interns or whatever they got lying around. You wrote a movie in 2003 that starred like it was a romantic comedy. Come on in. If you look at the Marvel writers, it's like evident.
Interns, you say? Do you know if they're taking applications? No, I'm kidding.
Hell yeah, man! I'll sell out in a second. I will sell out tomorrow. I don't care.
I've seen bats and I've seen girls. I can figure it out.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
So I'm a little worried about this because I was like, okay, maybe the balls start rolling where Wonder Woman will be good, Batgirl will be good, and we can say, oh, cool, you know, DC at least can make these unique experiences that are separate from the Marvel kind of like complex, right? Because I mean, like, you know, say all you want about, you know, one, you know, Black Widow movie or whatever, but you know, I'd rather have a Batgirl movie because that's like, you know, way more of a leading kind of thing. But we're gonna do a whole different topic on, you know, Marvel versus DC, good versus bad kind of thing. But since we're low on time, let's just skip ahead to our recommendations for the week.
Okay.
And then, because I want to spend a little bit more time with that, and then we'll end it up.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
What do you recommend?
I don't want to go first. Let me think.
I go first. Recommend a little picture called E.T. Pretty good. Now the thing I actually want to recommend.
Actually, first. The game night topic.
Yes. Somebody mentioned that about the movie Game Night coming out. So I know I have not seen it yet. I personally am interested in seeing it because I like movies where there are real stakes and people don't realize it.
Right.
Like if you ever saw the movie My Name is Bruce with Bruce Campbell in 2007,
No.
it's like the same idea. It's like the actor Bruce Campbell is hired to fight evil, but he thinks it's all like an acting job.
Oh, that's great.
And a lot of the comedy comes from him not understanding the danger.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how that can be applied to this movie as well.
I am not seeing Game Night
Okay.
because I think it's just like, judging from the trailers, it's like gimmicky and hacky. That's how it strikes me. And I know I'm like, I might be just being an asshole, but like they show you all the best parts of the comedies in the trailers, right? And they're all, everything that happens, they always react like, oh my God, oh, the guy got crowned up, holy shit.
Yeah,
And it's just, you know what you're gonna get throughout basically the whole thing, unless they, but I don't think they're.
I'm glad like something like that, like as you said, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like to be more optimistic about it, the whole like realistic genre, like it almost kind of reminded me of Keanu, of like
Oh, I haven't seen that.
yeah, in terms of like
Well,
when
Keanu I
that
liked a
that
lot. I thought
Keanu?
it was a good balance.
That Keanu?
No,
Okay.
No,
as
the
in
little
the-
kitten. Yeah.
Yeah, the Key and Peele movie, because I felt like it was that where there was like real celebrities in it kind of thing, and they're playing grounded human beings, and there's stakes to people dying, even though it's absurd and it's comedic and everything.
Yeah.
Like that. I still feel like there's because yeah, like
That's
as
different.
fun
That's
as-
a different level of like gloss or separation between what's happening
Yeah,
though than like they're spectators watching a game show or something like that.
Sure, I'm interested in watching it because it feels
Yeah.
a little more like interesting.
You know what else the trailer reminded me of? Did y'all see Let's Be Cops from like 2014?
No.
Now, it reminded me somewhat of that. It's like these guys who are like pretending to be cops who actually get involved in like a real mystery.
Oh, doesn't it have the guy from like The Mummy and Jurassic World from New Girl?
It has one of the Wayans.
Yeah, I think it's Damon Wayans Jr. I think is in it.
I think so.
Yeah, Damon Jr. and then the guy who plays Nick in New
Yes,
Girl.
yes.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
yeah.
No, I didn't see Let's
I
Be
actually didn't
Cops.
see that.
Yeah, I enjoyed that movie. I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know.
So, yeah,
I'm
so-
just, I might have made a bold
No, I
claim
will
without
say,
enough to back it up.
as
but I
we've
guess
said-
I would have to see the movie. I just don't have any interest.
Well, also keep in mind, like I said, I haven't seen a lot of classic good movies, so I might have different tastes.
Oh right, yeah.
I have a lower bar for what's a good movie.
I'll add Let's Be Cops to my watch list
Yes.
though.
After E.T., then Let's Be Cops.
I was
Okay.
gonna say for sneak peek recommends, let's just have all that. I'm actually interested. I'm gonna watch Game Night now, and for the next podcast, I'm gonna talk about it because
We should all go
okay.
watch it.
Yeah,
And then
I'm
we'll have
interested.
an entire hour just about game night. No, we're not actually gonna do that. I'm just kidding.
I'm interested if we all come out like, oh wow, we actually all liked it.
11 out of
Ugh,
10
this is out
stars.
of spite. I'm not on board with this. No, it's
That's
not
fair.
happening.
We'll watch it. What's your recommendations?
What's my recommendation? I saw the Joel McHale show on Netflix, and it's just the Soup or Tosh.0 or like Web Junk 20, if you're familiar with that. And I'm not typically like a fan of those shows because like I feel like the humor's too easy.
Right.
But Joel McHale has charisma, so if that's the type of thing you're into, then it's worth a watch. It's worth a little cheap laugh. But yeah, a lot of cool guest stars too. Netflix can get fucking anybody.
Yeah, it's true. They have all that money.
First episode is Kevin Hart for 5 seconds for no reason.
Really?
He's just there.
Fair.
Hey, that's a great thing to have.
It is.
Yeah.
Mine. Actually, you said you were gonna recommend a podcast.
Yes, I'd actually like to recommend a different podcast. So it's called All Fantasy Everything. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of it. It's hosted by an Emmy-nominated comedian. It's Ian Carmel. He writes for like James Corden and all
Oh,
those.
I know that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically what they do is they do a fantasy draft every week, but it's everything except for sports. So it'll be things like meals at Taco Bell, stuff to do with $1 billion, people you want on your side of a fist fight. And because it's a bunch of comedians, they always go on tangents and riffs and everything. I love the show. If you just want like lighthearted entertainment for like 2 hours, it's fantastic. And the cool thing is, they're actually coming to Austin for South by Southwest on March 10th. Yeah, they're gonna be doing it live, so I get tickets to go. But yeah, it's one I've been listening to a lot, just because, like I said, it's consistently lighthearted and consistently funny because you have different comedians on every episode.
Nice. I'll look that up. That
Yeah,
sounds
so
awesome.
definitely, check it out. All Fantasy Everything.
Yeah. Coco just came out on DVD.
Oh, wow.
If you actually have any kind of spare money for that, or if you kind of find it on streaming, your digital streaming services, definitely recommend that. I always think I'm jaded with like cartoon movies because it's so hit or miss now. Where I either watch it like, oh, that was a waste of time, or I'm like, oh, Moana, this is good, So I feel like Coco, I was worried about the hype, but it actually kind of like.
Nice.
I'm always happy when, as a college student, I can watch an animated movie and be happy with it.
Yeah, you feel you connect with your inner child for a second.
Yeah, so I'm like, that's cool. And you actually mentioned it, so I'm just going to recommend it. If you haven't watched the Star Wars: The Clone Wars CGI TV show, highly recommend it.
Yeah.
It's all on Netflix, all like 8 seasons.
It's great, for what it is.
including-
Yeah.
The last season was only on Netflix too, so if you missed that
Oh, interesting.
when it was airing, there's some really cool stuff that they talk about, like they get in the Force and how that all works and
Midichlorians.
Yeah, I mean,
Midichlorians. But in The Last Jedi, Luke says that there is no Force and anybody can be a Jedi.
Well, I do want to point. I do want to point this out too.
I'm lost here.
No, hold on. The only person that we hear mention midichlorians is Qui-Gon Jinn, who was like a maverick in the Jedi Order. So
he's just out of his fucking
He's like the
mind.
Alex Jones of the Jedi Order. He's got his own personal conspiracy theory.
Well, what's interesting that's actually in the last season.
Oh, is it?
Like spoiler, Qui-Gon is in the last season, and midichlorian things explained.
Oh, okay.
What the fuck? You just predicted the...
And unironically, Yoda thinks it's a conspiracy theory until he finds out the harsh reality of truth.
You should write for that show, Blake.
Thank you. Well, see, they're putting midichlorians in the water, and they're making the friggin' frogs force sensitive. We just can't have that. That's how we got Yoda.
They're making Jake Lloyd gay.
Oh, okay.
No, he's not gay.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's he up to?
I don't
know.
It's the Parker comment of the.
I just think he looks a little like a frog. You don't think that at all nowadays?
No,
You should look. You should Google image him if you haven't.
Yeah,
He's got like
you see his mugshot, right?
Oh, his mugshot. Yeah, it's a classic.
His mugshot's like, and this is jail.
Right.
Not in this is pod racing.
Well, so those are some good recommendations. That's definitely all. It's all like streaming stuff that's out basically, so you can catch up on that. Obviously, next week will be our Oscars episode. So if there's anything that's still in theaters or anything you get your hands on that's Oscar nominated, you should probably catch up on that. So that way you'll be up to date on all of our conversations and what all the hubbub's about. This is our like Super Bowl for the year essentially. So
Yeah. Our default Super Bowl.
Now, Ethan, I do have a
Whatever,
question
like,
for you. We're part of a show as well, aren't we? Called Sneak Peek.
yeah, we are in a show called Sneak
Now,
Peek.
when can you watch that show?
You can watch that show Sneak. Thank you. On Thursdays at 9:30 on watchtstv.com. If you're in the Austin area, you can tune into a channel, but none of you guys are, so it's fine. Be sure to follow us at Sneak Peek THTV. The social media team's been posting some really cool stuff. You get all your juicy gossip, like when Jennifer Aniston announced her divorce and stuff like that. We caught that pretty early, so be sure to follow along, and you might actually learn something. Keep an eye out for reviews too. They'll be up on the website. So again, just keep up to date with our social media, and you'll get all those links. And you'll be here back next week. Next Sunday, same time, same place on YouTube channel, but be sure to tune our episode because that's going to be Oscar-filled, a lot of speculation before we get into the deeper dives. But yeah, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
And, we'll be back next week.
Enjoy your Sunday.
Bye.
Goodbye.